Hi everyone and welcome. So first of all, I just need to apologize about my ashy hands in this video. I sped up the video so hopefully you hopefully you don't see too much of my ashy hands, but just in case you do, sorry about that. Okay. Um, so I found this on my hard drive. It's from like 4 years ago, I think. At the time, I had just gotten into layered paper cuts. I had bought a load of layered paper cuts and I really liked them. But, you know, I like to tinker and I like to do my own thing. And I had just started kind of looking into how to turn a single layer SVG into a layered paper cut. And so I came across this tiger um, pattern, sorry, this tiger SVG, and I really liked it. I think it might have been the year of the tiger, which is why I was looking at a lot of tiger stuff. I can't remember. Anyway, so I had to modify it a bit to get it to work, and it's interesting now that I've done so many um, different single layers into multi-layers. I definitely would do things a little bit differently, but at the time, this is what I came up with. So in the video, you can see that I don't have a load of different colored cardstocks. At the time, I didn't have a good collection, but unlike now, when I've got enough card to open a small shop. So what I'm doing is I'm using my alcohol markers to color in the areas that are going to be exposed. So I didn't color in the whole layer, just the bits that were going to be exposed from one layer to the next before gluing on the next layer. And I actually like the way it ended up looking. It kind of gives it a different kind of handmade feel. So, like I said, I had learned or taught myself how to use how to take an SVG and turn it into separate it and then turn it into separate layers, you know, with a view to creating a layered paper cut. And I did it in Affinity Designer 2. Now, since I've did my paper cut, Affinity have released a new version of the app, which is completely free to download, by the way. Well, not completely free. It's free to download. You don't get access to the AI tools, but quite frankly, you can do so much, everything you need to do without those particular tools. I heartily recommend that you go and download the Affinity app if you haven't already. It is an excellent program. I've been using it for years, and I would definitely recommend it. And it's just absolutely amazing that it's available for free. So that's kind of like separate. Anyway, the reason I mention it is because you know how sometimes you do something and you don't kind of realize that, or you don't think much of it, and then somebody will say, "Oh my gosh, how did you do that?" So I didn't really think about the fact that some other people might be trying to figure out how to do this, and it's not as straightforward as it might seem. Anyway, that led me to create a sort of tutorial about it, which I have posted up on Skillshare. So there is a Skillshare tutorial. I'll post the link in the description box below. The link, if you don't have a membership, the link will give you free access, 1 month's free membership to the entire Skillshare website. So you can watch my video, you can go and watch some of my other classes, you can go and watch other people's classes. And then at the end of the month, if you enjoyed Skillshare, you can upgrade, you know, to an annual subscription, which is very reasonable at less than $100 a year. Or if you really don't want to, you can just go ahead and cancel the subscription and you won't get charged. I will get around to updating the Skillshare class so that it uses the latest version of Affinity. But even if you follow the link and take the class, you should still be able to follow along. There are some minor differences between the old version and the new version. Mainly it's about around the location of the buttons. Some of the buttons are in different places, but the process is essentially the same, and you should be able to follow along if you have the new version and you watch the Skillshare class. Just make sure that you're working in the vector workspace and not the pixel or the publisher. workspaces. The really great thing about learning how to take existing single layer SVGs and turning them into layered files is that you can take all the stuff that you really like that you've already got, and get more out of it. It just adds a certain layer of versatility. And of course, I'm talking about layered paper cuts because I have a digital paper cutting machine. I have a scan and cut, but you might have a laser cutting machine, and you could do this with like plywood or like different materials, and that would look amazing. Yeah, but you can basically take any SVG file that you've got that you like the look of, that you think would work with this paper cutting, or with this layered format, and then follow the steps and turn it into something completely different. When something does catch my interest, I do tend to minorly obsess over it for a while. And so I really did go to town with this. I converted so many files on my hard drive. It's a very satisfying process, very meditative. I love the way that putting on the final layer of black just completely transforms the entire look of the piece. So without it, it looks kind of weird, but then you put the black layer on and everything comes together and it looks really great. Okay, so here's the original image, the original single layer SVG. I will put just a link to it in the description box in case you're interested in downloading it yourself. Um, and here is the final version. I really like the way it turned out. So if you want to learn how to turn a single layer SVG into multiple layers, then follow the link in the description box below this video, head over to Skillshare, sign up for the class, and then have fun repurposing all of those old SVGs that you thought you'd never use again. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you next time.